Welcome back to Mind Your Abundance podcast. Today, drum roll, please. I mean, my own. I don't have the soundboard thing. Uh, Probably I should get one, but I have too many things in the apartment, so why not? Today we're going to talk about the sign you are all ready to stop overthinking and start thriving. Hey, have you ever measured yourself? How long does it take you to make a decision? I'm not talking about just making a life decision. I'm talking about just a regular, even you go to a restaurant, you might take 10 minutes to figure out what do you want to eat. 第一次看会看完 what if I don't like that? Then I waste my money for that. And or something like, what if that's too spicy? What if X, Y, and Z things happen or something? And that ever experience with that? And have you noticed your friend do that too? Usually, you all usually have one or two friends have a similar personality, just like you. And then there's a one totally opposite, and when they say, "Oh, come on, just make your decision right now." And this is very similar with my relationship with my husband. When we go to the restaurant, he always would like to ask the server, "What do you recommend?" Okay, getting a little warm. And then the server is saying, well, they recommend 2 to 3 different items. Sometimes he choose one, sometimes he totally go to different directions. And then if I'm very hungry and I'm getting hangry, I'll say, please just come on, make a decision already. Or sometimes he choose the one server is not recommend, and then after the server go, I will usually ask, no, why do you even ask for this recommendation? I mean, you don't really need to choose one, choose the recommend, but seriously, if you ask and then if I feel like you probably should take one of the recommendation, but if you have that particular diet restriction, then yes, and you cannot do that. I totally understand. I'm only saying that because of my husband do that very often. So totally up to you. Well, I'm talking about if you have hard time to make a decision, it could go through not just a work, it could go through multiple different areas in your life. And a lot of time it's not just because you need more time to think about it. It's because you don't feel safe to make that decision. The decision. You feel not safe when you make that decision because things come up. What if it go wrong? What if I waste my time? What if it totally send me back to where I don't want to be? All possibility coming up already before you start making one, right? And often overthinking is a disguise of fear. Same thing with perfection is a disguise of the fear. For all the thing we worry about, deep down is always a fear. Fear of judgment, fear of fail, fear of everything of disappointment. Yes. And so we delay that decisions, hoping someone can make it for us, then that responsibility will be theirs, not me. And I might be less disappointed if someone else make it for me, or I put that more energy back to the others. That's all self-protected mechanism. We all know that. Right? We all know that. But what if it's every time the environment or the event come up, you come back to stuck with that emotion immediately and you didn't think about it. You didn't think about my ego is trying to protect me. And then you stuck in with I need to feel safe. I need to make the perfect right one right this moment. Okay. And what is it that all the experience building up for you? You lead to exhaustion. You feel burned out. You feel like hold on, and you're running around like chaotic person because you don't know what you're going to choose. And even though you feel like you've done a lot of inner work, you still hesitate to move that matter with you. And what is the sign for you to change then? Hold on, I might need to redo the part I just said earlier. So what that lead you to usually is you feel exhausted, you feel burned out because your brain is working overtime and they want a break. They want a weekend. They want only 8 hours work a day, sometimes fewer. and we are overboard the bandwidth. So of course they're going to burn out. So what is a sign for you to know you need to stop? That is the one because your body is telling you, hey, I need rest. This thing doesn't work quite well for me right now. So can we try something else? That gentle nudge is telling you your body and your mind need to do a reset. And second one is you doing a lot of inner work and still hesitant and make decision or move to the next step. It felt important to you. And third is you feel that gentle nudge, gentle little poke, that inner whisper say, hey, I think I'm ready to stop. I'm ready to just make a decision. Gentle whisper in your head. You also craving a deeper connection, but don't know how to let people really see you. And you already start searching how much you can give other, how little you can give to yourself. You are tired to being the strong one, to be the one always being responsible, always the one to figure things out. And that silence carry your own pain and you feel so heavy. And you also keep telling yourself, maybe next time, maybe next month. Or secretly you feel frustrated yourself not started at this moment. If any of this sounds familiar, that's not just a sign you are failing. The sign in your body is done playing survival and ready to shit. And I want you to looking back one of the experience you make a mistake. And that bring you down, frustration. But did you learn anything from it? Did you get some data to help you to move closer to the thing you want? Just take a moment. Because most of the time we complain. Most of the time we say, I shouldn't do that. I know I shouldn't do that. Hey, I know I shouldn't do that. Wouldn't it be that as an indicator next time? You know in your instinct, in your gut, you shouldn't choose B, then maybe next time you know that little gentle pull from yourself, your instinct, then you should go for it instead of taking the U-turn. That experience should help you to learn something. And I want you to create a safety emotion, even choose wrong. So what I mean is stop judging yourself to make a wrong decision. Let's just talking about how many people make wrong decision every single day. Not just compared to other, not just trying to make you feel better. It is part of the lesson we learn to navigate the world. Even in school, you don't always get 100% or an A plus grade at school, right? So don't stop judging and stop like being so negative toward yourself if you things doesn't work out exactly the way you want. Maybe you can just say, that's the story I can tell my family how then change out little chemistry in your body. Then you won't feel like okay, like back to like I shouldn't do that. Instead of like that is so silly. I cannot believe I do that. Ha, that's a funny story I can tell. See how the emotion and difference from just saying that. Of course, it's not something you life threaten decision. Just be I'm gonna put it up front. It's not like a life decision that's like, oh, we can laugh about. Of course, those I need to put more thought on it. I'm talking about more something of your life goal. And I hope that's very obvious. And for your health decisions, don't take lightly, okay? And I just want to make sure people understand that part. And I want you to break down the thing you are going to do instead of just thinking, okay, I'm going to reach K salary. Okay, only thing you are focused on is that 10K. But what if you break it down? Okay, today I can do things can be closer to 10K. Or this week, what kind of tasks I can do to make it to 10K for your angle. So instead of focus like that far away vision or goal to yours, if we break it down to pieces, then you can take in a small step instead of thinking, okay, my step is got to lead to that 10K, otherwise I'm failure. That's totally not true. That's totally ego tricking you to not taking the action, because if you didn't make it to 10K, then your ego can jump up and say, I told you, Ruby. I told you don't do that. Right? So then you will say, okay, fine. Next time I just not do anything anyway. Then you won't get hurt. Your ego is a trickster. They always want you to be safe and stay in the comfort zone. And how we can stop the ego mind tricking us is how we can navigate life more easy. Trust me on that one. I try to talk to my ego almost every single day, and I jump out quite often. And you just need to notice that little trickster and want your attention. And if more attention you give it to them, then more like when you feed that little ego mind, and then getting bigger and bigger. And then it's harder to get rid of it. And at some point, it's not about learning more. It's about being lovely guide as you become more. It's related to taking action. It's not just like keep learning, being a student mode, taking action, feeling it, experience it, take the lesson from it, and use that lesson to your next step. And if you're feeling like there's a gentle pull, even though just a tiny whisper or tiny like ringing in your ear, I want you to know that inner self is telling you you are ready. Even though you are playing this podcast, is mean something. Some guidance take you here to give you a little gentle pull to take a little step. And my 8 weeks live coaching called Awaken Her is coming up on July 20th, 2025. If you'd like to learn more, you can go to my website with rubychen.com, and just right on the top there's a button. You can sign up for the priority list, and you can get extra bonus goodies and training to help you building a healthy boundary with yourself, with loved one, and creating confidence you are being creating for. So sign up for the waitlist and get that extra goodie for you today. I hope this helped, and I'll see you on next one.